Hey, good morning. Yes, it is. It's Sunday, the 21st. I was going to call this the weekly Sunday sermon, but I don't know if I turn people off with that or not. Maybe we'll go with, the sermon for today. Today I'm going to talk about being successful and self-discipline and the choices of having regrets or no regrets. And that you have to do it in all aspects of your life. So stay tuned. So welcome back. If you didn't know, my name is Eric. This is the first time you've been here. And what I do with the channel is I do weekday geared towards, small and repair, and I also put in there kind of personal development, personal growth. Because I think you need to be well-rounded and not just focused in one area. I think a lot of people have that misconception of being successful is financially, and that's just not the case. You could have a lot of money but not have any friends, not have the community respect you, have your kids hate you, been divorced umpteen times. That is not being successful. Successful and being successful, to me, a successful person is someone that is well-rounded and has done it in all aspects of their life. And the tendency to, focus all your self-discipline on one task, like growing a business, can take up a lot of time, right? And I feel that you have to work on, how do you accomplish things in life, right? You can either procrastinate and put it off for tomorrow, or you can develop self-discipline and work on how do I do it today? And that simply may be just sitting down and writing down a bunch of stuff on a whiteboard. It could be your laptop, with a pen style. It could be a pen and paper or pencil and paper. Just write down all of the things that you would like to accomplish, be good at, how you feel, your mood, just let it all come out, all right? I know a lot of people, what they do is they kind of tick off one at a time, right? Check off is better term. But they decide that they're going to be a better father. And you have to find out and define in your mind what is a better father, and then what society deems as a better father. In all honesty, how you feel about being and doing a better job at being a father is more important than what society thinks, okay? Society doesn't always know what's best for your child. You do. That's your blood. And being a father means you'll go to the end of the earth for that child. As the old comic routine of where I'll take a bullet for my child. Absolutely. You have to have that mindset. But to get that mindset, you have to define what's a good father in your eyes first, okay? And if you define it being a good father, that by not associating with them because you don't feel that you're a good influence, not good enough, you need to find out and change why you would not be a good influence on your child. That's focusing more on how you can become a better father. All right. A better partner, husband, wife. Not all relationships last, especially with the divorce rates. And you're not a bad person if you've had to go through a divorce. I've been through one. And what I can tell you right now is that my ex and I, and this was 23, 24 years ago, but there were some rocky points in the beginning, right? But my ex and I get along way better than we ever did. And we have for the past probably 18 years. Because I tried to find a focal point of, we have kids and grandkids together. We need to get along, right? And whatever happened in the past is in the past. That's taking a negative and turning it into a positive, all right? If you got kids involved and you went through a divorce, or you guys living together for a long time and you split up for whatever reason, how are you and your ex getting along if you have kids involved? How can you change it from a negative to a positive, right? But what I'm seeing today is we have like a whole generation that checked out during COVID. You know, I once read somewhere that if you didn't have to get up in the morning early, if you didn't have to go to work, if you didn't have to pay taxes, if you didn't have to have any responsibilities, what would happen to you? Most people say, yay, that would be great. It might be for the short run, but what ends up happening is you have no goals. You have no self-discipline. You've decided there's no reason to get up in the morning early, go to work, pay your taxes, have a family. And what I can tell you guys and gals that checked out, and if that's you, listen to me, that you're going to have a world of regrets, guaranteed. If you allow life to pass you by and never achieve what you could have, you will have regrets. And regrets are way, way worse than failures. Because failures in our lives, we learn from it, right? Or if we don't, that is not too good. But failures, we learn from our mistakes. And we learn from other people's mistakes too. Because we talk about how, with time, you gain experience, and from experience you gain wisdom. Same deal. With other people's failures, if they're honest about it, helps you gain wisdom quicker if it's in the area that you're trying to become better at. What I would like to see you become is a better, more rounded individual than someone that is really good at one thing, and that's it. Whether it be business, I know there's some of you guys out there that are saying you're crazy, Eric. Money will solve all my problems. Being successful is exactly what I want. All right. And then who are you going to share that success with? If they had a funeral for you today, how many people are coming? How many new friends have you met in the past year? Even customers that you turned into friends. How many? Do you outwardly seek other people? Are you approachable? Or do you not have enough time for everybody? Because you're busy being successful. Just think about that. See, a lot of times I try to make it a teachable moment. And I try to have it so that you can use some of my experiences to help you gain wisdom faster in certain areas. And I give it freely, all right? I'm not going to tell you what to do, but I can give you advice. And then you need to take that advice and make it your own mantra of, I want to do better because. See, a lot of people think, like in business and in life, that if you just replicate what somebody has done to become successful in business, that you will also become successful in business, and that's not the case. Because a lot of times the success of the business is from the owner, the one leading the charge. And I've seen a lot of businesses that were very successful when the leader stepped out, retired, that business started going into the red. So if you replicated that person's, of how to attain to become successful, it may not work for you because you may not be that person that is out there busting his hump, and he's figured it out of how to have his employees get along, how to deal with customers, and know what each customer expects, right? I guess what I'm trying to say is you have to make it your own mantra, which is your own, drum to beat to become successful. Girls, we can go as much as like YouTube. Because, it doesn't matter what aspect. It's the same no matter what you do. Why are some people better than others in certain areas? It's because they've learned the self-discipline and how to approach things. You can take someone that is very successful at YouTube and then replicate everything that they're doing. But if their YouTube channel is more about the individual than the channel, and they have a lot of following and a lot of influx, if you replicate what they're doing, is no guarantee that you'll even get half of what they've accomplished. A lot of times I've seen people fail miserably trying to copy somebody else's. And I hope that, like my approach to our channel here, is just to be real, honest, truthful. I think a lot of people find it refreshing. And this channel isn't about being a Debbie Downer. It's not about, let's talk about all your failings. No. Let's talk about where you're at and what you want to accomplish. Your failings are there, and hopefully you've learned from them, or you're going to repeat it, right? You know, I talked about in other videos about like this 5-6 second that goes on in your head. And what it is you come up with a right idea, or you come up with the correct answer, or you come up with your first impulse is usually the right one, right? When you approach stuff. But after 5 or 6, 7 or 8 seconds pass, your mind is built in such a way that it's in a defensive mode. And that defensive mode you will start doubting your answer. You'll start doubting your response. And that's why I say, like, even right down to the simplest form of taking tests, if you put the time in to study, you know, and you attended all the classes, when it comes time to take that test, your first answer will always be the right one. If you just do it, boom, 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 you will do well on a test. But if given the time at the end, let's say the test is for an hour and 15 minutes. All right, half an hour you've blown through that test and you're done. You got two choices. You can either sit there with self-doubt coming in and going back and start changing answers, or you can get up and walk out, because that's what the teacher had said when they first started, is anybody that gets done earlier, just bring your test up and you can leave. Take your test up there, drop it off, and leave. It's the same thing with life. You know, your mind is built to keep it safe, you know. And a lot of times, safe isn't always good for you, right? You have to be yourself. You have to be authentic, all right? And the first thing you need to do is you need to develop self-discipline in your life. You know, we talk about procrastination. And procrastination to me is, why do it today when you can put it, why do it today when you can put it off tomorrow, right? Enough. Both of you, lay down. And it's easy. It's the easy way out, right? And that's your way of not having to deal with something that may, you know, not be something you want to do. But in life, we come upon a lot of things that we really don't want to do, but we do it anyways because it needs to be done. Procrastination never gets you anywhere other than regrets. And the last thing I want is for you to have regrets. Because you're going to get to a point in time of where you may not physically be able to do a lot of the things that you could have when you were younger that you put off. I mean, we all age differently, of course, but, you know, becoming a professional football player and you're in your 60s is probably out of the question. Right? But if that was something that you wanted back when you were younger and you developed the self-discipline of what you needed to do to get into shape and learn plays and this and that, you may well have become a successful football player. But there's nothing to say that you can't still go into that area and become a successful coach. Or, you know, become an offensive line coach. Still have something to do in that field, even no matter, because age now isn't requirement because you're not physically active like you would be if you were out there on the field all the time, right? And what if you started just by simply being a coach for Little League football in your area? Or taking over the junior varsity coaching job or varsity coaching job. Because you have the wisdom, you played prior, you didn't go professional because you didn't want to put in the time or you procrastinated at it, or there was some other thing that was more important to you than going in the direction of becoming a professional football player. But that doesn't mean that you can't still go back. I shouldn't say go back, but go into that area that you felt like you have regrets at this point of not doing. You're still taking part. You're teaching the younger people how to do it, right? From your experiences. If you want to become successful and a well-rounded person, you first have to develop skills on how to become self-disciplined. And that means not putting off what you can do today for tomorrow. It means taking care of those things that should be done today, get them done. If there's things that you put off for a long time, maybe you're going through a divorce and you're a holdout and it's a year later and you're still unwilling to sign the papers. Sign the friggin' papers and be done with it. Put it behind you and move forward. All right? If you're a registered nurse and you want to become a nurse practitioner, why you keep putting it off if that's what you really want to do? Yes, it's going to require a lot of study. It's going to require a lot of practical, but if it's something that you want to do, why aren't you doing it? In the end, it comes down to when you decide on doing things, having more reasons to do it than to not do it. All right? And that's what goes on in our minds every day, is you have to come up with more reasons to go ahead and get it done than not do it. Because your mind will give you 100 reasons why you shouldn't do something. And your mind isn't always right. It's in self-protection mode. Try to keep you out of harm's way, and it will be like your little Debbie Downer. It's like the angel and the demon on your shoulder is the best way I can describe it. But most often the case in life is the first thought, the first idea that pops into your head when you're thinking about things is normally the correct answer, the correct direction. And try to discipline yourself so that you realize that is the right direction, the first thought that comes into your head when you think of a certain topic. Whether it's business, relationships, you know exactly what you need to do, being a better father. I mean, down here, you know exactly what you need to do. And procrastinating at it is something that a lot of people do. I've done it. It's like year-end taxes, how you procrastinate. You just keep, I'll do it tomorrow. Just get it done today. Get it submitted and move forward. Get it out of your way. Now, I got to apologize for these dogs, but I'm keeping it real, right? These guys get to be little monsters. They're sisters. and they get to fighting. But no, I mean, it's like my education. I had regrets that I didn't go further in college when I was young. But becoming a father and supporting my family became my number one focus. And school didn't rate very high at that time. But I had the chance and the ability to go back and come away with a four-year degree because I had the self-discipline and the focus to accomplish just that. Same thing in business. The business became successful because of the self-discipline and the direction I chose to go. And that can be you too. And I really hope it reaches you if you're the one sitting on that couch in your parents' house or in your bedroom watching this video and you checked out for whatever reason. You're going to have regrets. And I need you to check back in. Or I should say, I want you to check back in. That's for you. Do it for yourself. Don't do it for me. Do it for yourself. And the rewards will be great. I guarantee you. If you put in the time and the self-discipline, and when I say put in the time, you have to put in the time in the right direction, right? Because I've seen a lot of people, work 7 days a week, 14-hour days, and still not become successful at something because they're putting all their energy into an area that isn't going to help them in the long run. And we all do that from time to time. So on that note, you guys have a great Sunday. And we'll see you here bright and early tomorrow morning for the weekday. I want to let you know that the property next door did sell to the shop, so that's good. They're supposed to put a deposit down tomorrow, and I'll get all the paperwork written up for that. And with the shop, as far as I know, the father and son that came up, Mark and Annette, they were going to go to the bank, this week to try to get the remaining balance through a loan, I believe. It's none of my business how they do it, I guess. And we'll go from there.